Hey, I think it's time to talk about rejection again because it's been a little while and this topic to me is endlessly fascinating. And you probably already know this, but I love rejection. I love the clarity that rejection brings, right? When somebody says, I don't want to go on a date with you anymore. I don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. You are not a good fit for this job. I don't want you to come to Christmas for whatever reason. I'm just trying to come up with other examples other than love and work. When somebody does that, they're giving you a gift, the gift of clarity and of liberty, should you choose to accept their rejection, right? Because you could fight rejection and people do it all the time, right? Somebody says they don't want to date you anymore. You bargain, you beg, you try to find a way, you try to change who you are or how you've been acting so that you can get them to take you back or to renege on their rejection or to change their mind, right? So you can absolutely reject rejection. You can choose not to accept it. And that is not liberating. That is not clarity. That is you failing to accept the reality of the situation, which is that somebody doesn't want you or doesn't want what you want. And just to be clear, rejection is painful. It's totally painful to accept that somebody doesn't want you in their life or doesn't want what you want. But if you choose to accept rejection and not only accept it, but embrace it, you get to make room in your life for something that is more aligned, right? If you don't get the job that you want, of course that's going to hurt. And it's okay for it to hurt. It's okay for you to be sad and to be disappointed. But to a point. You can be sad and you can be disappointed and you can accept the fact that this is not for you, even though you think it might be and you really wish it were. The reality is that it's not. So it's really important to not fight reality and to accept the fact that this relationship, this person, this opportunity is not for you, right? And the problem with living in denial is that you're not making room for something else to come in because you're still fixated on that other thing that somebody has said is not for you. So the quicker you can accept the fact that rejection isn't terrible, sure, it hurts, but that it's liberating and that it's releasing you from a situation that is not for you. The sooner you can do that, the sooner you can make room for something that is for you. And this is tough because this requires an insane amount of faith in life, in the universe, in love. It requires faith that you will be okay. Maybe not now, because you're sad and you're hurt and you're disappointed, but you will be okay in the long run. And that's hard. That is monumentally difficult to really trust the universe. And gosh, this sounds so like esoteric and a little woo-woo, but I have it. I have immense faith that I'm going to be okay. If my partner breaks up with me, I will be okay. If I don't get job opportunity, I will be okay. If someone says no to going on a date with me or having sex with me, I will be okay. And this does require some amount of self-worth and self-esteem, right? Because it can be really easy, really, really easy for you to spin out and to think that there is something fundamentally wrong with you if somebody doesn't want to be with you. And there probably isn't anything fundamentally wrong with you. There are probably like a bunch of little things that are quote unquote wrong with you, just like anybody else in the world. And I don't think there's actually anything wrong with you. I just think that we all have areas of development, because we're human and we're not perfect and we will never be perfect. We are all along the road of healing ourselves and getting better and dealing with our areas of low self-confidence and low self-esteem and low self-respect. But this trust and this rejection resilience does require some amount of you believing that you are a good person and that you are worthy of love and that there is nothing fundamentally wrong with you, even though you have work to do, right? Because we all have work to do. So I'm not saying this is easy. I'm not saying that accepting reality on reality's terms is easy. I'm not saying that rejection and the feelings associated with rejection are easy. It's not easy to just feel rejected, right? To experience rejection and then immediately to go, oh, well, you know what? That's liberating. Now there's more clarity in my life. Thank you for releasing me of this situation so that something more aligned can come in. Amen. Right? That's not easy. It is a process that you will get better with over time. You will get better with this over time. I really do think that the more you put yourself out there, the more you will get rejected. And there are multiple benefits to this, right? The more you put yourself out there, the more you stand to get a yes, whatever the yes is, right? A TV opportunity, a casting call, a promotion at work, a date with a cutie at the gym, asking your person for exclusivity or more commitment. When you ask, you do set yourself up to get a yes, but you are also setting yourself up to get a no, right? So one of the benefits of showing up and putting yourself out there is that you do stand a better chance of getting what you want rather than sitting on the sidelines hoping that it just falls into your lap, whatever it is. That's unlikely. It can happen, but it's unlikely, right? So one of the benefits is that you get a better chance of receiving what you want. The other benefit is that you're going to get more no's, right? If you don't ask, you don't get a no. You also don't get a yes, right? So you are protecting yourself to a certain degree. You're protecting yourself from getting rejected. And that's cool. That keeps you safe, right? That keeps your life a little smaller than it could be. The other benefit here is that the more you experience rejection, the more you will get used to it. You will absolutely get used to dealing with and moving through rejection and its associated feelings of sadness and disappointment. Definitely. Right? Therapists call it exposure therapy. If you're scared of heights, you're not going to just throw yourself off a bridge, but you might peek over the balcony of a second story and realize that you're okay. Like that was kind of scary, but I didn't die, right? Same thing with rejection. You will become better at it. You will realize that you won't die. And I've made posts about this before and people have kind of reamed into me when I said that like nobody's ever died of rejection. And then they give me some anecdote about some old person dying of heartbreak, because their partner of 75 years died and they died a week later. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. There's always an anecdote. But I've never heard of anybody dying of rejection. It can definitely hurt. It can sting and it can set you back. And if you're not in a reasonably healthy mental space, I agree that it can hurt for longer than it needs to. But you're not going to die from rejection. And I really want to invite you to consider the clarity that you get when somebody says no. Because then you're no longer in this middle space of wondering what the fuck is going on. You actually know they're not into it, whatever it is. And also, I want you to separate the thing that you're asking for from you as a person. Right? If you're asking somebody for a date and they say no, they're not saying no to you as a whole person. They're not saying like you are trash. They're just saying, I don't want to go on a date with you. And that's hard, right? Separating those two, the request or the desire from you as a person, is very hard, especially like if you're in a relationship and they break up with you. It's hard for you not to take that personally, right? It's hard for you to say, I realize that they are just saying no to a relationship with me and they're not actually rejecting me as a whole person. And it might really feel like that's what they're doing. But it's up to you to choose to see it differently. We are just not aligned. We don't want the same things. I am still a good person. I am still valuable and worthy of love. They just don't want that with me. Hard truths on a Tuesday afternoon or whenever you happen to be hearing this. You're going to be okay. And I hope that you get to see the gift of rejection for what it is. Somebody helping you make more room in your life for something that is more aligned for you. My name is Sean Galanos. This has been a short episode of The Love Drive. Have a beautiful week.